Hello world! As you might have noticed, I've been back on Dreams lately, which means I've started putting together collections of all the cool stuff that I've been finding. And because I was away for quite a while, naturally, there's going to be a lot more than one of these. I've got a lot to catch up on. So I'm just going to dive straight into the collection, play through some of the things we found, and see how we get on. We're going to start off with Chessmate 48 Puzzles by Renato726, and this is really cool. It's literally a chess puzzle game, really. I mean, essentially it gives you a move, and then you have to make the best move. It's got a beautiful intro here. Look at that, lovely. The presentation actually is one of the things that stands out to me, and once we get into the game you'll see that as well. So yeah, Chessmate Puzzles, let's do it. So here we go, here's the presentation I was talking about. First of all, lovely little cursor here that we're moving around with the motion, but also just a lovely setting around the side, isn't it? It's beautiful. It does have a real tone to it, and the music's nice as well. Now this is puzzle number 1. It's black to move. So we're black, and we've got to make the best move here. I'm not the biggest chess head in the world. I do understand the rules of it and I know how to play it, but I've never really been that into it, or claimed to be particularly good at it. However, we failed. We made the wrong choice there, you see. So there we go. We're now on puzzle number 2. Black to move. Fail. Don't worry, we'll get there. We'll get there. We'll get this next one. White to move, right? It's white's turn. And it is this. Boom. Congratulations, we done it. We're probably not going to do the next one because we're not a chess head. But let's see here. Black to move. Yeah, I knew that was a fail, but it's fine. Look, we got a new personal best. And I'll take it, you know what I mean? I recommend this game. It's pretty cool. As you can see, it looks the part, it sounds the part, and if you're into chess, you'll love it. My game of the month, sort of, this week is Kone, and you may see that I gave that a full review in a sort of different video that I guess you'll see linked up above here in a moment. But this is a full 3D puzzle adventure that took me about an hour to complete. And it's actually got 3 endings. I only got one of the endings in my official review. We're just going to play the intro here and show you how it starts, but if you do want to see the full review, then like I said, that will have been linked above just a moment ago. So we are a traffic cone, and we've got a life of our own. And we're on the move. We're on the move. You can tell already, from the sound, that it's a serious game. You know, it is. When I first loaded it up, I thought, okay, yeah, this should be fun. We'll go around. We'll be a traffic cone. It's a serious game. It's got serious themes to it, and it's got a story to it. Some of the puzzles are pretty cool, and yeah, genuinely, it's well put together. I've got some other dreams by this creator on my play later list, and I'm looking forward to getting around to them, because there's someone who I wasn't aware of in my previous time in Dreams, and there have actually been a number of people who are new to me, essentially. They weren't around back in the day, but they are around now. They've been making stuff for the past few years, and their stuff deserves to be seen. It's a shame that they missed out on the Dreams heyday, but they've still been making cool stuff. Now, I'm not going to solve this puzzle, quite deliberately. I have completed this game. I've got a full review of it. But if you're intrigued, this game is worth playing. It's Kone. It is Kone. Now, we're going to have a quick look at Count the Jelly Beans by Subob14. It's another one we've got a full video of, and I'll link to that video up above. But we'll just have a quick glance around this room. We'll see if we can figure out how many jelly beans are in it. It is, as the name suggests, a case of counting jelly beans. It spawns you into an environment. There are jelly beans, a random amount of them in fact, and you've just got to figure it out. So here we go. How many are there? What I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many are in this corner, and then we're going to extrapolate from that. There's not a lot in this corner though. There's not a lot. See, when I've played this in the past, which has been a few times, there's normally a lot more than this. So this is going to be a low one. It's going to be a low one. It's totally random, but it's going to be a low one. I mean, there's one there, right? And there's another in the corner. I'm getting a bit of deja vu, walking around talking to myself about jelly beans. But it's a good game, by the way. And I can't imagine it being fun If you've got friends over, like load it up and you can have a debate about how many there are before you put in your guess. There's really not a lot today though, is there? There's really not a lot. Honestly, right, honestly, I'm going to say there's about 25. And that's probably still too much. Oh, there was 38. So more than I thought actually, but that's fine, that's not bad. I will take that. And yeah, like I said, there's a full video for that. Probably up above or somewhere like that. Now, let's play One Heart 2, right? This is a game that I got sent and I played it and I respect it and I appreciate it, right? But it's also very difficult. So I didn't play a lot of it and we're not going to play a lot of it now either. It's very difficult, right? But it's good. I can see what it's doing. So yeah, we're this guy here, right? We've got to not touch the red. That is basically our mission. Oh, I touched the red. I've done it already. Yeah, it keeps like a death counter in the top left, and I guess it's one of these rage games. You know what I mean? Because yeah, look, I've played this a bit, and I always get so far, but then I mess up and I've got to go all the way back. Can actually do 2 of these at once, see, I remember. But like, yeah, oh, see when I was younger, right, even just a few years ago, playing Dreams, I'd complete this, right, I would, oh, I'm not completing it now, but I respect it, it's cool. Look, if you like fun things like this, it's pretty cool. We're going to try and complete this level, I'm just going to keep going until I get frustrated. But, because that's kind of how it goes, right? Oh, I'm getting frustrated now. It's cool, right? It's cool. PC Zero Gamer, I've also got a bunch of their other games on my play later list, and I'm looking forward to checking them out. Let's have a bit of a change of pace though. Let's check out Dreamscape Beyond. Now, this is a game that I've not completed yet, although I think I'm approximately half of the way through it. And funnily enough, in the time since I came back to Dreams and today, there's actually been a sequel to this released, which I've not played yet at all. But yeah, this one here that we're about to show off came out while I was away, and then another one has come out just in the past few days. But we'll show this one first. The section that I'm at, yeah, so it's the ice section. This is, like I said, approximately halfway through the game. It does have all sorts of areas to it, and yeah, the Dreamscape games, like there are a whole series of them, they're really good. Dackers is a really good creator. But anyway, look, here is this section of the game. Minor spoilers, but really, they're minor, okay? We're just going to go through this section.
Hey, you! What brings you here?
I'm traveling to each world to bond with their relics.
I wasn't expecting any visitors, but perhaps you can help.
Possibly.
Look, I've made a serious mistake. This land contains some of the oldest and coldest ice ever found. I've been collecting ice samples for my collection, and me and my friends found rare blue ice and we're in the middle of harvesting it.
What happened?
Once it was pulled from the lake, everything started melting. I never knew just how important it was, so we tried putting it back, but the gears on our excavator are jammed.
What do you need me to do?
I need you to get to the machine and destroy the counterweight. This will send the ice back into the lake and stop our world from melting.
Destroy the counterweight. Got it.
Silas.
Silas. Reagan. I'll get it done.
Bless you, little one.
Alright, let's go. So, each Dreamscape game so far has its own big narrative. They also generally add in little new mechanics and stuff. Here we're going to fight these guys, alright? And then we're obviously, we're going to do what Silas asked us to do. You can see the friction on the ice here as we're fighting. But anyway, away we go, away we go. This animation actually, see when you run into the wall there, I remember that not being in the original Dreamscape, and that's just another example of like the evolution of this series as it's gone on. Each game in the series is like a multi-hour, essentially like 3D action platformer, much in the spirit of ones that you might like from back in the day on other platforms, and yeah, really good, really good. Now, one of the things you can do in this is sort of change the planes. So when I hold L1, look at that, it interacts with that, makes it come down. So we're gonna come up here. We're gonna, oh. Yeah, there we go, there we go. Boom, come back up here. There we go, there we go. Now here's one of the cogs. Alright, 2 more cogs to get. 2 more, let's go. Here's another one. And then there we go. Here's the gate that the cogs open. Pretty cool game, man. Honestly, the whole Dreamscape series is pretty cool. And yeah, there are literally like, there's hours and hours of this whole Dreamscape franchise on Dreamsphere for people to check out. If you're new to it, there's a lot of game, and it's good. And there we go, we've opened the gate and we're through. Oh, they got me, you see. That's what happens when you go running on the ice. But it's a cool game, you should check it out. And like I said, there is actually a new one out now as well. I'll be checking that out in the future, and there's of course the back catalogue as well. Well done, Dackers, good job. Now let's move on to fighting game, right? This is another game that I have already technically done like a video about, but let's just have a quick look at it. I gather it's had an update since the last time I played it, and as you can see here, the creator quite likes the Dreams community, so there we go. That's nice, isn't it? You're all amazing. Give yourselves a little pat on the back. Now this game, I mean, it is a fighting game, but it's not fighting game in the sense of Street Fighter so much as it's a bit like kind of Samurai Slash. Like you choose your command and then you have to input a button in a sort of quick time event to like execute the command. But ultimately the command is only successful if you execute your button press before the opposition executes their button press. So when you're playing against the CPU, like it's fun enough and it's interesting enough. But I believe that really it would be at its best in multiplayer. Now we're just going to skip that intro there. You can see my full video review elsewhere, right? But here we go. Here's 1 player versus computer. Let's just give this a quick go. Let's fight at the beach. Alright, here we go. It's got good voice acting in it. I'm sure you heard a little bit of that there, right? We're going to play on hard because I've done this on hard before. I can still do it on hard. We're also going to change our costume to that boy there. There we go, we're changing that with L1. There we go, we're gonna be this boy.
Let's get ready, player. Fight. Okay, so I will start.
There we go, we're gonna start.
Your turn.
So, look, I'm just gonna do a low attack.
Hurry up.
And now it's gonna give me a command to input. There we go, triangle.
Yes.
And there we go, because I hit them,
Yeah.
that means that essentially I pressed the button quicker than they did. So in multiplayer, yeah, it would be a case of, yeah, whoever presses the button fastest. So I pressed that quick enough to dodge there. There we go. So it's cool, it's cool.
Concentration.
Let's do a hard attack. Oh, I was a bit slow there, but I done it. And it's cool. It does also have like a card system, which I'll show off in just a... Oh, dang son. I wasn't paying attention. I was too busy talking about the card system. So yeah, here's the card system, right? You see these fists on the top of the screen. As you build up that meter, you can use those to get these cards. And then obviously you can use them to change the flow of battle. This is just a single fight against the CPU. I would say that survival mode and multiplayer mode is where the game really comes into its own. But like I said, look, I've already got a full video about it. You'll find a link to that above or whatever. Now, let's move on to Nova Virtus RPG. This is interesting. This is from Karambaz McGee. That's what I like to call him anyway, as if he's Scottish-Irish, when actually we know he's Portuguese. But he's a wonderful Dreams creator. One of his other games actually comes up later on in this collection as well. He's got a great history, some wonderful stuff. And yeah, this is a big RPG that came out just last week or so. You can see here there is a scoreboard for time played, and I've played it for nearly 2 hours. We're just going to play it for a few minutes now, but I've played enough of it to get a general idea of it. And it is pretty good. It's pretty interesting. It's slow paced, I would say. But you know, only in the sense that there's lots of content and lots of side quests, and even the fights can take a bit of time. And yeah, we're going to load up here. This is our home. We've already played a fair bit of the game. We've done a few quests. We've built up a bit of currency. But every time that I have been playing it, I've been coming into my home and I've been just sort of doing this. So yeah, we've already got max stuff there. That's fine. I just want to make sure I'm ready for my adventure, you know. And yeah, that's still locked. And there we go. We're sorted here. We're sorted here. And do we want to be? Yeah, we're fine in the daytime. We want to be in the daytime, you see. Now, if we rested at our bed there, it would become nighttime. And then when we left our house, you know, the overworld would be nighttime as well. Because it does have a time system. But yeah, we want daytime. We want to talk to the lumberjack east of the lake, which is this way. Now, or is it though? I don't know. Yeah, Blue Arrow Gate just appeared, then disappeared. Anyway, I said earlier it's a bit slow paced. That is in reference to this character's movement. It's not actually like that slow. I mean, he's faster now than he is at the very start of the game because I have leveled him up a bit. You can level up their walking speed, and I've done a bit of that. But at first, I can imagine people finding it a little bit frustrating that the character does walk so slow. I actually should have come back here and just done a little bit of fishing. I intended to do that, you know. Plus, yeah, look, you can chop down trees, get resources. I was just trying to get to the lumberjack's hut as if I was actually properly playing it. Then I remembered I'm doing a video where I'm just going through the collection. So yeah, look, there's resource gathering. Here we are gathering some wood. We're also about to do some fishing. You can also go mining, and obviously use these resources to either sell at the shop to get some gold, or you can use them in crafting and all sorts as well, for potions and yeah, all sorts. But also I just remembered there's no point going fishing because our fish is currently full, because that's what we done the last time we played the game, you see. The way that I have been treating this game is that I've been spawning at my house, right? I've been doing the objective, like going out on a little adventure, you know, doing the objective. And then when I complete the mission, I go back to my house. So it's almost like, yeah, it's like a day-to-day thing. It's interesting. It doesn't have to be a day-to-day thing though, that's just me. Okay, so the lumberjack is here, so he's the Blue Arrow. Okay, he's east of the lake. It's just, honestly, I thought I was east of the lake. Already thought I was. But anyway, no, it's a good game, and look at all this stuff. There are various realms as well. This is just the starting area. I kind of don't want to spoil too much, but at the same time, like, it sells the game more to also say that there is essentially like another world aspect to it, where you switch between worlds, and when you die, interesting things happen. Let's gather some berries here. There we go. When it comes to combat, the combat is sort of like a turn-based RPG similar to your old school Final Fantasy games. We might get combat here, we might not. I'm just trying to leg it to the lumberjack's hut. But this genuinely is a game where you can dedicate a lot of time to it. We saw on the scoreboard before we loaded it up, I've played it for about 2 hours and I've done a lot of stuff, but I've also barely scratched the surface. And you can see other people have played it for longer than me, and they're enjoying it. So it's good, man. Genuinely, it's good. Now we do need to find this lumberjack, but we also need to move on to the next game. I might do a proper video about this at a later point. It's genuinely an interesting game. And you know what, we may as well do the next game from Carambaz McGee as well. This is Redline Turbo Trials, and it's a sequel to Redline Turbo, which is an MM pick that came out a few years ago. This itself came out last year, but of course it's new to me. And it is essentially an expansion pack for Redline Turbo with, I mean, just new tracks, 5 new tracks, and they're all good, they're fun. Alright, so I have played this, and I'm going to dive in, and I think I'm going to do... Well, it says I've not done muscle. I'm sure I have done it, but let's just go. Let's do muscle then. Now, as it said in the description, it's kind of like an expansion pack for the original game. And these are 5 tracks that are designed to be more difficult than the original game. They're for experienced racers. Now get the RPM in the thing. There we go. There's a classic Redline Turbo, you know, you can get a boost start if you time it right. Now this is a muscle car, so obviously it's not the best at turning. Oh dear, dear, that's embarrassing by the way, that start. I'm starting to wish I'd gone one of the other cars, because the turning is the issue here with this muscle car. But I should just drift more, you see. So I will. Now I don't know who this music is, it sounds a bit hypertronic to me. And if you do like just driving around, racing, trying to set personal bests for the scoreboards and time trials while listening to a bit of kick-ass drum and bass, then you can do that. Right, let's drift more, man, let's drift. I remember the original Redline Turbo is open world and you go from like race to race. This is just a series of 5 tracks, but they're good tracks as you can see. Oh no, yeah, I remember this part. I just didn't remember it in time. Whoa, 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 whoa. Maybe that's why I didn't complete the muscle course previously. Redline Turbo Trials is really good though, genuinely. You should give it a go. Alright, so we've been very game heavy so far, so let's have a little musical break. And I was thrilled to find that in my time away from Dreams, there's been a new EP released by Bath. Now if I had to make a list of my favourite Dreams musicians, I couldn't do that, there's just too many of them, they're all incredible. But certainly the music of Bath is something that I've always been into. It's very technical, very clever, and I'm just going to let it speak for itself here. Incredible, right? That's only the opening 2 tracks. The whole thing's 24 minutes long. Just thought I'd give you a little teaser there. And yeah, it's really great to still hear Bath making music, and I do hope there's more to come. Now, we're going to move on to a bit of art, right? This is Somewhere Between by Bad Robo 82. And it's actually quite a long loader. You'll see here, it does have this loading screen. But I don't mind that at all. Because Bad Robo is one of those Dreams creators where it ultimately just gives you a bit of time to build up some hype because you know the quality is there. And I can explain who they are too. So they essentially got known for building photorealistic environments, and what I always find amazing is that apparently they didn't even have a proper 3D graphics software like background before Dreams. They had done art, but Dreams was really where they started doing 3D work. So you might know them from things like, is it Arishiyama Bamboo Grove? My pronunciation there might not be brilliant, but also Somewhere Between, and some other like, there's like some Returnal sort of fan creations in here as well. Now we've got this, you can see why there's absolutely no problem waiting for it, right? Just look at this. Absolutely stunning. I don't know how they do it. Like genuinely, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if you've ever seen any of my Dreams creations, but they certainly don't look like this. In fact, one of my very early Dreams creations was called Postcards from Another Place. And it was just a series of like scenes where you press X, you go to the next one. And it was all just weird, ethereal, you know, like postcards from another place. And it looks nothing like this. It's crude, and it's rubbish, and it's terrible, and it's horrible, right? But in my head, it looks a bit like this. Or it did look a bit like this when I was making it. You know what I mean? Bad Robo has that thing where you look at his stuff and you just think, oh, wow, that is... like, that's better than whatever's in my head, you know? I would love to give you some sort of like detailed talk about the Dreams techniques that are used here and various, you know, other technical stuff, but you know, I just appreciate it, don't I? Anyway, it's beautiful stuff, really beautiful, and yeah, I've got some other Bad Robo creations to catch up on in my time away as well. Now let's have a little quick cutscene. This is from, well, the Backrooms game by Dathura Games, although they never used to be known by that. They used to be known as, I believe, Marshall's Account. and they won an Impey for their Backrooms game. And yeah, this is just like a little cutscene from the latest episode of that, because they are still going strong, which is incredible. Yeah, there we go, the Backrooms full game. This is the best, probably like the best Backrooms game on Dreams, and yeah, it's literally still getting updated, it's still going. This is just a little advert for it, a little cutscene. And there we go, we're leaving you on a little cliffhanger there. You're going to have to go and play the full game if you want to find out more. It is essentially a little teaser for his latest updates to the full game. But this is an exceptional game. It is one of the finest ones on Dreams, certainly one of the finest backroom games. And yeah, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger, almost like the backrooms themselves. It's kind of crazy. So yeah, definitely go and check that out if you've not been in Dreams for a while and it's your sort of thing. Now let's get back to the games, right? Let's have a little game break of sorts. And let's check out Traffic Jam, which is an unfinished tech demo from Matizzle here. And yeah, look, it's unfinished, it's not going to be finished. I can understand why, but also it's incredible. It's got wonderful presentation, it's a really cool idea. And again, it's got a little load time here, but it's not as long as the last one. Just look at how well presented this is, right? I just think this is a lovely little menu. In some respects, it reminds me of maybe something Entropy Tamed might do, you know what I mean? It's got that sort of cleanness to it, that sort of polish. And if you don't know, Entropy Tamed is another Great Dreams creator. But anyway, we're going to hold X to continue in a moment. I just thought I'd mention, yeah, Matizzle is like one of the top creators in Dreams for a number of years, and they have continued making stuff. Even just a few days ago, they released this, which I'm sure I'll be featuring on a future video. But for now, look, let's get back to Traffic Jam. So it's a puzzle game, right? And it's only got advanced mode at the moment, but look at how clean this menu is. You know what I mean? It's proper clean, proper cool. Brilliant, right? Anyway, we're going into advanced mode here, and we're going to choose level 1. And as you can possibly imagine, based on this level select, the levels are indeed like sliding block puzzle type things using cars. Now that little advert for the expansion packs was obviously cool on the loading screen. I don't think they're coming, you know, the game's, it's a tech demo, it's done, but it just shows the level of polish and what was possible, you know, it's cool. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, it's like a sliding block puzzle. So I'm going to choose this bus, I'm going to press X, and that makes the bus go forward. If I press circle, it makes the bus go backward, you see, and essentially we're trying to get this red car through here, and that is the puzzle, that is it. So it's cool, it's a good game. I'm not going to claim to be good at it, but no, it's good, it's cool. So we move this up here, right? Move them along, move them down, but then what do we do here? You see, unless but no, because then that just, you know what I mean? It's one of those ones. Look, this is advanced mode, and I'm not going to spend too much time trying to figure it out, when you can all see what it is there and you can play it for yourselves. And look, I really appreciate and respect the sliding puzzles, but I've just never been into them, even in real life where you get them and it's like, you know, sort of 4x4 grid or whatever. It's just like, no mate, I can't be arsed, I'm no into that, right? But it's really cool, obviously. It's just not my sort of puzzle at the end of the day, unless I'm in a very specific sort of mood. And look, I'm sorry, I'm just not at the moment, but you can all go check this out for yourselves, it's very cool. we're now going to have a little musical interlude again. This is Orchestra by Tooth McGeek, and yeah, it's their orcs from another world that we'll be exploring later on, as well as their Thief Runner series and whatnot. But no, here you go, enjoy this tune. And that is the orchestra. It's brilliant, man. Now, there is one little thing about it that slightly annoys me, right? Which is that I swear, like, I recognise the music from somewhere, by which I mean, like, you know, Dreams, and a Dreams game, but I just can't quite place my finger on what it is, you know? I've played thousands, if not even tens of thousands of Dreams throughout the years, right? And I feel like that music is lodged in my brain somewhere, and I can't find it in genealogy, and, if anyone in the Dreamverse is watching and they think, oh yeah, we recognise that music, what's it from? I know it's Tooth McGeek, like, I know obviously you created Thief Runner and stuff, I just don't remember it being in Thief Runner. I even had a quick go of it earlier, but it might be in one of the other ones, it's just been a while, eh? But Tooth McGeek is an incredible creator, and something I noticed is, lately they've been working a lot, or not necessarily lately, but certainly in my time away, they've started working more with Latour Chauve, who's also a wonderful creator, and I see that Infinite Space Shooter, among other things, has had updates in the years that I've been away, and I'm really looking forward to diving back into that. I've just not got around to it yet. It's on my play later list, but yeah, I'm looking forward to playing those updates. That should be cool on a future thing. Now, let's just have a little art break as well. We're going to start off with something from Talc 33, another absolutely classic Dreamer. You can see here, like, you know, Gaia Hawk, Z Exodus 2, Giblets, Shapeshooter is an absolute classic from the back in the day as well. I think I even left some feedback on it once upon a time. Some of the early feedback. Doesn't matter. They're an incredible creator. Haven is another absolute Dreams classic. And yeah, they've put together this art. Warm embrace. Do you feel embraced? Because I actually kind of do. I think it's the sort of reds and oranges that are actually embracing me. Like, I know the person in the middle looks quite isolated, lonely. They're in a very loose-fitting vase. But I actually do feel embraced, because I feel like the opening to what I'm going to call the vase, even though it won't be a vase, right, is like, it is actually inviting me in. It's like inviting me in there with them, because they don't want to be in such a loose vase. They want me to tighten it up. But then I don't know, because I look more deeply into their eyes, and sometimes I feel like they're looking at me with a bit of disgust. You know, look at them, genuinely, look at them quite tight right now. Like, they're sort of squinting, looking at you as if to say, who do you think you are? Looking at me in my vase. Go and just turn around and walk out this room and leave me alone. But I do feel slightly embraced. What do you think? How do you interpret the art? Let us know in the comments. While we're here, we're going to have a look at Together Forever. This is from Lucky8572, who is also going to feature later on because, you know what? They've been doing a lot of curation in the time that I've been away, and their curation's really good. I've genuinely found a lot of cool things through it, a lot of which are still on my play later list. But yeah, they've done a lot of good curation while I was away. And they've also done a lot of good creation as well, with fun little scenes. So here we go. As you can see here, look, they met at work. He asked her out. 2 years later they got married and they lived happily ever after. And you've got the lovely music. It's beautiful. But I believe there's also good curation going on here, right? Because I can't say with proper authority what Lucky has and hasn't made. But I do believe that most of the assets are curated like from the community and they're put together in a really nice way. Genuinely, in the time I've been away from Dreams, one of the things I've like that I sort of missed or not forgot about, but I don't know how to describe it, right? But coming back into Dreams, just seeing everyone's creativity and seeing how easy it is to make things. I know it's very difficult to make things, right? To make really good things. And it takes lots of time, but also you can like throw things together that end up really nice, even if you can't necessarily actually like sculpt or anything. And I'm not saying they can't sculpt, by the way, I don't know. I'm just talking about myself here, really, I suppose. Yeah, I'm just blown away by it, honestly. Like, yeah, Dreams is amazing. Ramble over. I think it's the music that's getting to me, along with the lovely story of this couple. It's lovely though, eh? It's lovely. Together Forever, Lucky8572. We're actually going to go on to another Lucky creation now. This is Autumn, and they've been inspired by Die Toilette, or Toilet Litter, as they're now known, and all of their lovely dioramas. But this differs slightly from a Die Toilette diorama, because unless I'm mistaken, and I know they have been doing new ones, generally the Die Toilette ones were all quite still life, right? Whereas as you can see here, this one has lovely little animations. Oh, there we go. I was going to say stopped blinking at me. But also, if we come and explore around here, look at this lovely wee guy. I'm a big fan of this, you know what I mean? I love these animals. Big fan of snails as well, by the way. Like, I'm not saying that I want to have them crawling all over me or anything, but big fan of seeing a snail. You know, seeing a snail getting on with its day, having a good time. Lovely rabbit and a dog getting on. And then here we go, here's a wee robin. Beautiful, right? I mean, they seem beautiful, right? Here's the thing. So like, I heard some stat recently that approximately like 40% of all robins actually die at the hands of another robin or something ridiculous like that, because they don't like each other. You know, yeah, they don't like each other. But look, let's move on, let's be happy here. Let's have a little look inside the house. Oh, there we go. Oh, that robin, see this robin's inside the house and the other robin's outside the house. Because the two of them actually hate each other, by the way. Honestly, see, one of these days, that's gonna come to a head. Like, this one will be leaving the front door just to go and have a chat with this guy, right? And then this one will be flying over here to also have a chat with this guy. They'll meet on his head. It will be a battleground. I'm telling you. Lucky, you've got to think about these things when you're putting your scenes together. but I do really like it. It's really cool. There's nothing up on the roof. However, is there a little secret below? Beautiful. There we go. Always love these little secrets below. Incredible stuff from Lucky. Really like it. Really cool. Really great to see them take inspiration from Die Toilet or Toilet Litter, and to use Yade's Otter. And yeah, it's all cool. It's good stuff. Alright, now, okay, let's get back to the games, okay? Although this game comes with a caveat, because it's Move and Shoot by Lucid Dream Chaser. And Lucid Dream Chaser, if you didn't know yet, is actually trying to organise a Halloween event this year within Dreams. If you don't know, Dreams used to have lots of really cool Halloween events. It's been a while, yeah, Lucid Dream Chaser is trying to bring back some of that spirit this year. I'm going to link you to a little card above that's like a proper little advert for it. For now, like, yeah, look, here you go. We may as well just show you this as well, because I think it'd be cool for people to get involved. Even I'm tempted to make something small and stupid, you know. So yeah, look, they're trying to host it. It's Lucid Nightmares. And as they say, the challenge is simple. Between now and October the 31st, just submit any sort of, you know, Halloween themed creation, simple or elaborate, as you like. They've got certain rules here in terms of how you should tag it so they can find it and all that sort of stuff. Ultimately, look, you can pause this video and read these. It's you know, it's like one of those things from back in the day on TV where they used to tell you to like record it on VHS and then pause the VHS to get lots of different frames with information or whatever, you know what I mean? You can do that for that, because right now we're going to play Move Shoot, which is a game by Lucid Dream Chaser, and it's very cool. It's like old school arcade. I think once we start playing it, you'll be able to tell quite quickly what it's inspired by. And it's got a really nice briefing and menu and manual and stuff here as well. Look, there's all this information, which I have taken in before, and look, I appreciate this information. I know how much of a hassle it is to type things in Dreams, but also just to make a nice UI like this. It's really cool, genuinely. It's really smooth, really great. And look at this, look at all these options. You know what I mean? I'm just going to stick with standard, right? And I'm going to have automatic firing. But look at all the options, it's pretty cool, right? And yeah, look, obviously there's also this naming contest. I'm not sure what's going on with this. I'm guessing it's not happened yet, unless the winner decided to also call it Move and Shoot. Oh no, Move/Shoot, so I guess it has been changed. This must be over now. I don't know, is it? Doesn't matter, right? It's a cool game. Right, let's go. So, you can probably see straight away what it at least initially appears as though it might be inspired by. It's almost like a cross between Space Invaders and Missile Command, or Asteroids. I suppose there's a bit of like Super Stardust HD kind of in there as well, you know what I mean? It's and it's pretty cool. And it is going to get tougher than this soon. Oh, here we go. So yeah, here come these aliens who can move, and obviously we have health for our ship, but also there is the health of the planet below us. For every enemy who you let get through, that shield takes damage, and then eventually the planet takes damage. And you can repair the shields when they take damage, but in order to do so you have to go next to them to do that. And if you're doing that, then you can't shoot the enemies, so it's very much risk reward in terms of your movement. And I'm aware I'm missing lots of the yellow power-ups here, right? But look, I can do that, so I don't need them. I was just waiting for the right moment. But like, also sometimes you have to miss the power-ups to shoot the things and not lose your shields, right? Because that is, again, that is the risk reward. We need to build up the yellow again to repair the shields. See, I'm glad I used it so I could show you it in action, but also because we used it, it meant we then couldn't repair the shields. It's a cool game though, genuinely. I got a personal best there apparently. That just shows I've not played it enough, because clearly, like, yeah, I mean, it's good and I should play it more. I'm catching up with lots of games. I've got thousands of things on my play later list and I'm getting there. And every now and then I come across one where I'm like, okay, this is one that I could easily spend an hour playing to get a high score. But I've not got the hour at the moment, you know what I mean? I'm going back bit by bit, playing little by little, but yeah, I can't dedicate the time I used to have. It's fair enough, right? Makes sense. Let's have a little bit of an art break. Let's actually have a Die Toilet original which is now a Toilet Litter original. This is a wicked magician who practices dark arts and wreaks havoc absolutely everywhere they go. And it was made for the weekly DHM Jam, and I've got to be honest, I'm so out of loop with the general community, I don't even know if they're still happening. So I don't know, like, I know that this isn't a new creation, it's just one that I found, like, from the time that I've been away, and I thought it was really nice. But yeah, I don't know if that's still going or not. Someone can let me know in the comments, maybe. I've not really been on Twitch at all for years, so I don't know what's still, you know, but anyway, this is beautiful, right? To me, this almost looks a little bit kind of plasticine-y. And again, I mean that like in a good way. I like it, I like the look. From what I can recall from my memory, which can be misleading, I suppose, DToyLay's previous work doesn't necessarily have a plasticine feel. It has like the feel of other textures, right? But when I look at this one, it does seem like plasticine, and I like that quality. And I don't know if that's on purpose or if it's just the way I'm looking at it. Maybe I'm tired and my eyes are just seeing plasticine. I don't know. But genuinely, it's got a nice quality to it. And I'm going to have a quick little explore, because I know that he likes to leave little secrets in his things somewhere. Right? Not necessarily all the time, but a lot of the time. And this time, no, there is not a secret inside the duck. That's fine, there we go. We're going to give up on the secret hunt, but it's really cool, it's really nice, it's really plasticine-y, it's remixable, and yeah, like DToyLay's done a whole bunch of amazing stuff in the Dreamverse, you should go and check them out. Alright, so let's dive back into the games, and you know what, we're going to come up to this top left corner all the way for Darktown Time Trial 2. This is from Dirty Flusher, and it's super cool. It's literally like the racing minigame from their PS1 style JRPG that has previously been released in Dreams, but it's got various time trials, and well, it's got a time trial, and what I mean is they've released various time trials, and yeah, this is one of the cool ones that came out in my time away from Dreams. It's got, well, yeah, we'll just show it, right? I was going to say it's got like loot boxes and stuff. Here we go. But yeah, so every time you complete a race, it gives you like a loot box, and it's kind of cool. It's way more advanced than it needs to be in this day and age. Like, it's really cool though. So here we go. Get the fastest lap time trial. Now, this music, I do believe is Prince Tara, and I'm not 100% sure, right? But I know that Prince Tara made a really cool racing game. Top down. The name, is it Raceline Turbo? The name of it maybe escapes my head right now, right? It's really good, it's really cool. Is this also using the engine from that maybe? Because it feels very similar when I play it. But I don't know. And it's not criticism either, by the way, because it's one of the cool things about Dreams that you can, like, you know what I mean? And here we go, we're just setting a time here, right? We're setting a time. We're not going to do 99 laps, right? And I know I can boost with X, but we're just waiting for the right moment. Alright, here we go. That just lets us start that lap faster. Alright, beautiful, beautiful. Now, we're going to get character crates here. We should have some currency after that. Seems we don't though. But you can see I have opened 3 crates. I've completed 6 laps, I've opened 3 crates. Look, it's frustrating when we're doing this, you know, this sort of inverted quotes live let's play that unfortunately, look, I've not unlocked it, alright? I have done it before. We're just not available with it right now. Oh, look at me now, man. Look at me doing more. This is what I do for you all. Here we go. Why have I gone quiet, by the way? Am I really that focused? This is what you do to me, Dirty Flusher. What a drift, by the way. I'm quite proud of that one. But essentially, look, as you do get the crates and you level up, like, you get faster and stuff, and yeah. Now, oh, I've still not got enough, mate. Look, I have done it. I have done it. I have done it. But you know what? We're not doing it now. Let's move on to another racing game, though. This is Dan Shy Boy and Speeding Turbo Time Trials. Now, this is genuinely one of the games that I've enjoyed the most since I came back to Dreams, right? It's a racing game that only has one track. It's unfinished. It might never be finished. But it's really cool. And yeah, I'm going to load it up and then I'll explain why, I suppose. Because I have to get this off my chest straight away. Some of you might be familiar with Cheese Wheel in Dreams, right? Cheese Wheel is like a 3D platforming template made by Super Afro Boy. There are a whole series of levels in Dreams made with it, and it's really cool. And I believe this could be the new Cheese Wheel if only such an ecosystem existed. Obviously that ecosystem doesn't exist, and we all know what's going on with, like, you know, Dreams and that. But this is genuinely really cool, right? Now look at this menu. Good menu, right? Good menu. All of these are locked off because it's just, you know, but it's a good menu, right? Now we go into time trials. We've got one track here. They're the tutorial, by the way. We're not going to do the tutorial because I've done it before, and I'll just play. But the tutorial is actually really good. It genuinely talks you through everything you need to know, and this game does have a unique control scheme. So much so that since it's a few days since I played it, and I only played it once, this might be really bad. But really bad in the good way, like, because this is a really fun and unique game. It's like Jankbot, but Cheese Wheel, and you're a turtle, and it's also neither of those things. As you can see, we've got all these characters here. For a thing that only has one track, like, you know, it's quite a lot of detail to have all these characters and stuff, you know what I mean? And obviously, yeah, you can also change the shells and stuff, and they've all got stats, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I can definitely imagine an alternate universe in which this game has like a template kit and the community make levels, and then all the levels go into the game, and you know what I mean? But that's an alternate universe. Let's just start. So, let's see how much we remember from the controls here. So it's a racing game, classic racing, right? We've got a time trial. So yeah, I'm holding X to run forward, and then I'm steering with left and right. And then now I'm drifting with like L2, right? So it's like I'm controlling a horse. I couldn't remember the jump button there. Oh yeah, I couldn't remember the jump button. Oh. I still can't remember the jump button. But yeah, oh, there's drifting. Right, there's more drifting. This is really cool. It's you know what I mean? It's like it's a racing game, but it's also very physics based, and there's quite in-depth controls and stuff. It's not just a case of like, oh, look at him drifting. You know what I mean? It's not about that. There's a lot going on here. I'm actually doing better than I expected to. I still can't remember the jump button. Oh, I jumped it though, I think. Maybe. I don't know. Can't remember the jump button. And I know you're saying, well, why don't you just push all the buttons and jump, right? But anyway, look, that's the tortoise tutorial. You know what I mean? The tutorial. You can see what's going on here. This game's really fun. Like, genuinely, this is fun what I'm doing here. It's fun to control. It's fun to feel. I can imagine all the different worlds and like this guy visiting different people's universes and going around their tracks and stuff. And I love the sound effects hitting the wall and stuff. I know they're a bit cartoony, probably, you know, they're probably covered by someone's IP somewhere, right? But like, that's not my concern. I'm just enjoying this game about being a turtle where you're trying to set a lap time. And it's genuinely fun, man. This controls, I don't know what it looks like right now, but I assure you, my fingers are having fun. There's a lot going on. It's really cool. Dan Shyboy is, I mean, he's not one of Dream's hidden gem creators. He's been featured a bunch, like, by Meiji Molecule and stuff, but he is one of those ones who was never quite, like, you know, necessarily considered like AAA as such, but he's got such an incredible catalogue of things. He really does. This is just one of the ones that I found that's come out in the time that I've been away. There are others as well, and look, we're messing up this final lap now. Oh, here we go. Oh, it's L1 by the way. It's L1 to jump. Also, yeah, when you're into bad terrain, you can use L1 to boost like that, and see. Took me the whole race to figure that out, but it's fine, don't worry, that's my own fault for not doing the tutorial after a few days after I first played it. It's cool though, really good game, genuinely love it. Just makes me a little bit sad that it's probably never going to be finished, and look, mate, I know why you're not finishing it, don't worry, I'm not saying you need to. I'm just imagining an alternate universe in which, you know, it is everyone's a success, and then the community get to make their own templates and, well, their own levels through a template and that, you know what I mean? That'd be really cool, man, because it's a really good game, really awesome. It could be the new Cheese Wheel, but it won't be, and that's fine. Look, not everything can be Cheese Wheel. Now, let's have a bit of art from Talc. This is Flying Shark 2082, and yeah, it's pretty cool, as you can see here. It's just, you know, it's different from the art piece earlier. I feel it's a bit less embracing, but it's cool as hell. We're, you know, let's do a barrel roll. Well, not quite. We'll get there. It's really cool though, really beautiful, right? And I do enjoy how you can interact with it and move it around. I'm aware that it's based on a craft from an older video game that was in the description, but it's just really cool. Really, really cool. At first I did think it was like a Gaia-Hawk thing. It might still be, but it's really cool, regardless of what it is. I mean, it's incredibly well crafted, incredibly well put together, really atmospheric, nice music choice. It's just really fun spinning it around, to be honest, and looking at all the details from the different angles and stuff. I'd like to see more things like this, but also I'm sure that there are more things like this already on my play later list, and I've just not got around to them. Honestly, you should see my play later list. It's almost overwhelming, except nothing about playing a Dream can be overwhelming, right? Because it's fun, it's cool. That's Flying Shark 2082. And it's good. Let's have a little trailer one by TapioX.
times, but despite my best judgment, I believed in your lie. I should have followed my intuition, but instead I was foolish and didn't listen. Ooh, why you so quiet?
Really quite harrowing, right? But also really cool, and it just shows like the variety in dreams, as always, that, you know, we have such different things from this to the lovely old couple, you know what I mean? It's really cool, and I enjoy it. And Tapio X is wonderful. They've got a whole bunch of amazing things, and yeah, I'm not, you know, I've got a lot of things to catch up on that they've released in the time that I've been away. Even just a couple of days ago, they released this in collaboration with Matizzle, as mentioned slightly earlier. I'm excited to play it. I've not played it yet, but I'm excited to play it. Because with names like that on board, it is almost definitely going to be really good. Hence the preemptive thumbs up. We all love a little preemptive thumbs up when we know to trust someone, right? As in, you know, we know that they make good stuff and that they're talented. Now, let's move on to the Palace of Mafra by Retro228. Retro228 is someone who I have featured on a regular basis because look at all these incredible scenes that they have made throughout the years. Turns out they've still been making them even in the time that I've been away, and this is one of them. And it's just really nice. I don't know what to say about it, really. I live in Edinburgh, of course, and Edinburgh is full of, I don't want to say buildings like this. This building is unique, but it is, of course, a very old city. And when I see things like this, maybe I sometimes take them for granted in a way where other people get more fascinated simply because my city is full of things like this. But that's not to say that I take this for granted, because I still think it's marvellous. The checkered floor is interesting, isn't it? Especially, you know, the change in perspective from the one in the middle to the one to the side. And I don't know if you can hear that clock ticking, but I can. Obviously it's, you know, it's linked to one of those bell towers, but I can hear the clock ticking. It does add something interesting to the atmosphere to have the clock ticking and the checkered floor. See, I just found myself getting slightly hypnotised by the floor and the clock there. That was me. I don't know if it would come across on YouTube. You might have to load it up yourself, but it's very good. It's very cool. And Retro just continues to release cool art, which is awesome. Now, let's have Choice of Pride from Elizabeth Vitae, because they thought that they would purge some heartless followers with some pride flags, which is, I mean, it's fair enough. The way I see it, if you unfollow someone because they're putting out pride flags, then yeah, that's not good. So yeah, look, it's a history of the flags. There are other creations and dreams that also go through the history of the flags and that celebrate pride and LGBT, and I'm aware I'm late with it, like technically, like this year because I've been away, but also I'm not late with it because really it should just be all year long. You know, ultimately, like, respect and all that stuff should just always be there, right? So there's the rainbow flag, that is the spectrum of sexuality and gender. And there's the transgender flag, established 1999, recognising the multispectral nature of binary gender. And then there's the lipstick flag, precursor to the lesbian flag, unused due to controversy, but it is lovely colours, isn't it? And if you think back to the art piece that we had from Talc earlier, the warm embrace, I'm feeling a similar vibe here. I feel warmly embraced to enter a vase. And then there's the lesbian flag, that is the accepted colours for lesbian pride. And here's the bisexual flag, recognising attraction to both genders. The non-binary flag, recognising fluidity and neutrality in gender. The demisexual flag, recognising sexual attraction arising from emotional attachment. And the racial equality flag, affirming the equal worth and potential of every human colour. The machine rights flag, recognising conscious machines as valid and equal human beings. The interspecies harmony flag, celebrating interplanetary and intergalactic cooperation and socialisation. And then we're back to the rainbow flag again. It's an interesting art piece from Elizabeth Vitae. It's pretty cool. I like it. And yeah, like, we're all about pride here, genuinely. It's amazing, so let's do it. Now we've got a little scene from Matizzle here. They have featured before, they shall feature again. It's called Nature Scene, and yeah, nature is very natural, and it's beautiful. Do you feel the vibes? I feel the vibes. I feel good from watching this, listening to this. It's just transported me to a place, you know? It's a very different art style from Helicozy, right? But there are certain aspects of it that remind me of a Helicozy art and music piece. The way that there's that framing on the side, the way the scene is so deliberate, the way the music fits the scene so well. It's really cool. Let's just absorb it for a moment. It's beautiful, and genuinely I could sit there for a few more minutes. It's even remixable. But we've got to get on with things, right? We've just got to. We have to. It's the way things are. This is The Girl I See from Reckley Snipes. And again, Reckley Snipes is an incredible artist. I'm more than familiar with their whole body of work. They're incredible. Impagotchi is amazing. It's really cool. It's a proper recreation of something we all know, but using imps, and it works really well. And yeah, they've got a whole bunch of incredible stuff. The artisan tables, wonderful sculpts, and yeah, they've got, well, they did have a really good horror game that appears to not be here anymore. I'm not sure what happened there, but I can't see it. Anyway, this is The Girl I See, and this is really cool. I'm not sure, I like to imagine that it's some sort of tribute to someone they might know in real life, and if that's the case, I think it's really nice, but even if it's not, it's still really cool, right? So this is essentially a scene with a girl, and when we press different buttons, different things will happen, and I'm going to mute myself and just let's just do it. So in case you haven't been able to tell yet, right, every time I press a button, the lady changes. And the changes, like, change depending on what button I press. So I've generally been trying to press the buttons with the beat here, right? But I'm also trying to press different buttons to show everything off. And as you can see, there's a lot of options. And it's really cool. And it's really fun. And you can almost like make your own scene. Like, look at this, right? Right, look at this. And then how different this as a whole composition is to... Just let me push a few more buttons here. There we go. To this. And we've just done that in the push of like a few buttons in Dreams. You know what I mean? It's incredible. Like, Reckley Snipes, you've done a really cool thing here. you always have done cool things, like, but I mean, no, this just is cool. It's one of these nice surprises when you come back to Dreams and you see that certain names who you know from back in the day have continued to make stuff, and like their stuff's really cool, and you know that they're doing it just purely out of passion and creativity and wanting to do it, because no one's making stuff in Dreams nowadays to get famous, you know. It's all passion, and if anything, that makes it even more real than before. It's amazing. It's really cool, really cool. I don't know if it's just the music making me emotional again as well, you know, the whole scene, but yeah, it is incredible. We are going to have to move on before I go on a complete rant, or ramble, or love bomb, or whatever. So let's just have a little look at the Make a Game series for this week or this month or whatever it is, right? Count the Jelly Beans is a game that we featured earlier by Subob14. And they've also put together a little kit where you can make your own levels. So you can come into this and you've got all of the logic here that you need in order to, you know, randomly generate and count jelly beans, essentially. All you have to do is just, you know, build a level around it. Dreams has been out for so long now that maybe you already even have like levels that you don't need to build. Maybe you can just... like maybe you've already got a room or a scene or something, and you can basically just like stamp this inside your scene as a remix and then be like, okay, here's the Count the Jelly Beans version of whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I know you can't stamp scenes inside scenes, but like if you had a scene saved as an element, you could stamp that in here, or you could just stamp this inside the, you know, the other scene, like save this all as an element. And all that jazz, you know what I mean, select all type deal. I think it's really cool. I mean, if people did make levels with this, I would happily play them, and I would happily guess the jelly beans, and I would happily put together a few videos about them as well. But if no one does, that's fine too. The collection is here, and hey, do what you want. There's also this collection, which is the Toy Stunt Bike Stage Design Kit, right? This is from BMX Bandit, and if you don't know, they've been one of the top users of the Super GP kit throughout the years. Look at all these incredible Super GP kits, tracks that they've made, right? And honestly, like, they're all banging. They're all really cool. Some of them are even quite interesting, and they use their own custom pieces as well. And this Toy Stunt Bike Stage Design Kit is very much in that sort of vein. As you can see here, look at all these incredible parts. And you've got scenes to remix, so it's not like you have to start from scratch, although you can if you want. But, you know, it's essentially different themes, right? Different themed little locations that you can make your own levels in. And I just think it's amazing that people are still doing these creation kits and stuff in Dreams, and I love it, and I really respect it. And yeah, look, here is their winter version. As a little, you know, as a dream of its own, a game for you all to play, but also as an example of what the kit can do. Let's energize. I really like the way it winds them up there. It's really cool. It gives me old school vibes. I remember I never had something like this when I was a child, but I did have like a sort of physical golfing game thing where it's like you had to pull the lever back on a golfer who would swing his club and hit a ball. Well, he would hit a ball. And I'm getting these vibes from it. Like, this is proper toy stuff, right? You know, it really is the toy kit. These are toys. They feel like toys, like you're having fun, you're in this playground. And with the kit, you can literally make your own levels. That was an amazing stunt there, by the way. I'm quite proud of that one. You can make your own levels. Whoa! Oh, I landed it. Yes. Whoa, endo. Oh, always do an endo too many, by the way. One endo too many, that's the problem. But there we go. We've done a barrel roll. We've done an 4 under flips. We've done 2 endos. It's not enough endos, in my opinion. We've done 5 wheelies, and we had some airtime. It's good stuff, like. But you can see how fun that is. And look, you can make your own levels. Again, in theory, right, if you already have a game in Dreams, you could basically take the world of your game that already exists, and then you could stamp this stuff into it in order to turn your game into a scene in which people can play this, right? In theory. I mean, the same goes for anything like, you know, Super GP, whatever, Count the Jelly Beans, like, yeah, you don't need to, like, you know, if you're someone who has a big Dreams back catalogue, like, you can get involved in things nowadays and you don't even have to make a big thing from scratch because you've already got the raw materials. So you could take something from what you've already got and just stamp in Jelly Beans kit, or take what you've already got, turn it into a toy stunt bike game. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool like that. Also, obviously, you can just stamp things from the Dreamverse. There's all sorts going on, and it's cool. But look, I also understand if there's no motivation to do so. Don't worry about it. Look, you know what? On that note, let's give a shout out to Curation Corner. Okay, in the time that I've been away, somewhere in the region of 18 months to 2 years, I don't know. Not really been keeping track, but these people have kept things going with their curation. And when I came back, I was looking for collections, and genuinely over the past 18 months or so, these are the best like collections that have come out. You can just take my word for that. I appreciate there might be one or two that have slipped through the cracks that I'm not aware of. I'm also aware that there are people like Dennis95 who are still updating their really old collections, and so therefore they're not showing his new collections. And they've also been very helpful, and yeah, technically they're not in this, but they will be in the next one, don't worry. But these people have genuinely been very helpful. Obviously you've got Flash Medallion here, old classic. Fleckpunk magazine continued to go, and there's so many of these now. The thing is, right, I'm not actually sure which number was the last one that I played, like in full and proper. But it's got to be probably somewhere around here. So there's a whole bunch that I've just not even engaged with yet, and I am looking forward to doing so. I might even revisit that whole All-Star Investigates Flickpunk thing, because I think that's quite a fun series of videos with all the random things that appear in these. But it's all about finding time. It really is about time. It's not about motivation. As far as I'm concerned, this is really fun, but it's about finding time, isn't it? Anyway, look, here is Lucky. We featured some of their creations earlier on. We also gave this a quick little mention. But that's not their only collection. They've done a bunch of them. This is a 2025 one, but then also their profile just has lots of other cool collections as well. And I have been able to catch up with stuff, and yeah, like, spoilers, I even just gave them a cheeky little invite to the Count the Beans Jelly Kit collection that I made, template thing, because I just figured, look, they've been curating Dreams while I've been away. It's a bridge, it's connection, old and new, and I don't know, look, it's an example of my own curation in action, really, ultimately, isn't it? You know what I mean? You've got to make connections, and yeah, Lucky's good. Like, Lucky's collections are good. We've now got this is from Finney, I guess. This is just their picks from 2026 so far. Obviously it's just their personal opinion. I'm not going to pretend I'm into all of them, but I am into a lot of them. They're really good stuff, and you can check it out. They've got other collections as well. Ape Monkey Boy, who you may know as a wonderful creator within their own right here. If we just go to their profile, look at their dreams, like, you can see that, yeah, look, they're wonderful. They've made loads of great stuff, right? They're really cool. But in the time that I've been away, they've put together lots of cool collections, and again, this is just a whole bunch of really good stuff that came out in the time that I was away. And in all honesty, like, all of the good stuff that's here that I like will also be featuring here at some point in the future, right? I've just not got around to it yet. So shout out to them. There are videos that are here today and which will be in future ones. I said videos, I meant dreams. You know what I mean though. Anyway, they've been helping me discover stuff. So have other people, so has the general search system, but you know. And then yeah, obviously shout out Lady Lex. Lady Lex has kept up her thumbs up dreams of the week. This is a 2024 one that I've got here, right? But that's more from me, because I've got some to catch up on as well. And But she has kept this going. There are more up-to-date ones than this. And again, it's really cool. She's also got her weekly videos still going. So, you know, by all means, go and check them out. And maybe you even come from one of them yourself, and that's cool. And yeah, she's kept that going, and that's really great. It's good that people have kept it going. Because the thing is, if I came back to Dreams and it turned out that nobody had been making collections, then how would I even find the cool stuff? Because the search system isn't the same as what it used to be, is it? Anyway, look, let's not go there. Here's just more 8 monkey picks. Yeah, so much good stuff. A lot of it's on my play later list, just not quite got there yet. Also, another little game kit is the Little Big Planet Redreamed New Engine kit. As you can imagine, I mean, it's Little Big Planet, right? There's not much more to say. I don't mean that in a bad way. I love Little Big Planet. It's Little Big Planet, and you can basically, yeah, you can make like Little Big Planet stuff, and it really works. It's really cool. I've played it, and it works, and it's good. Okay, now we're going to have another little musical interlude now, and it's from the album Chrome by M Molecule, KY13 and Endless FM. Now, I've already played this, therefore when I load it up I'll already be inside the space radio station, ready to broadcast. However, when you load this up, you'll get a lovely intro, and you'll also have to figure out a couple of basic puzzles before you can get into this room. I'm not going to spoil them, I just want to play you a song, but this is a cool interactive visual album, and yeah, here is Guarded Heart. Really cool, right? Really cool. And the album also has vocal performances from the likes of Kimaraki, and there's a whole bunch of incredible tunes on here. It's definitely worth checking out. And yeah, look, we're just going to have to move on for now. We've got more things to show. And also, I'm starting to get quite tired. I'm not sure how noticeable it is that the longer I've been doing this, the more tired and rambly I've gotten. I'm a little bit out of practice, you know. Talking to yourself while playing games is a tiring thing. And of course, like with any exercise, the more you do it, then the longer you can do it. I've not done it for a long time, and I am starting to get very, very tired. So anyway, let's dive back into the games, but this is like a showcase game, because this is Red Stream Collection, and if you're familiar with the work of Red Saikatsu, then you'll know that, yeah, they've made a bunch of amazing dreams, and you can access all of these dreams through this collection here. But also, it's like a little overworld sort of hub world minigame. You can find all of their dreams in here, you can access them and go to them and play them. But also, yeah, as you can see, it's like an overworld hub. This is specifically Minoa Garden. It's a little bit like Chow Garden from some of the old Sega Sonic Dreamcast games, if you remember them. But let's go back to the village. Didn't realise I would load it up and be in the garden, you know. Forgot about last time I was here. But you can see, yeah, this is Village U. It's Red Saikatsu's village that he runs with his community, and every week they get to vote on various things that can change within the village. There's even a residential district over there and all sorts. You can talk to people, you can play games, you can access his old dreams, you can have an explore. It's very cool, it's really beautiful as well. I love this sort of Paper Mario art style, you know, it's really cool. And I do implore you to go and inspect it and check it out if you would like to. There's lots here to see and do, so you should go and see and do it. Okay, now before we finish off the last couple of games here, let's check out a couple of recent art pieces from Wargorble. I mean, I say recent, one of them literally came out 2 days ago, and the other one just came out at some point over the last 18 months. But Wargorble is still making things in Dreams, and that's awesome to see. Like, they were featured by MM like repeatedly throughout that time, and their stuff is consistently creepy, cute, funny, and strange. I'm looking at this guy, right, and honestly, doesn't seem that threatening to me. I know he looks scary, right? At first, you sort of think, yeah, he's a bit scary, but actually, the way that his arms are positioned, I don't think that he's reaching out to me to cause me any harm. I think he wants a hug. And you see those eyes that are kind of red? Some people might say that red's evil. I see that red as warmth, almost like a warm embrace, like from something we had earlier. And the teeth Honestly, it's not his fault. I mean, we don't know what dentistry's like down there. And his neck's kind of cute, isn't it? It's kind of cute. So I know that, you know, he might look a bit scary, but he's not. He's actually fine. Genuinely totally fine. And I appreciate the art behind it and the idea. I like his little brain, by the way. I like his little brain. And that's not supposed to be insulting towards them, alright? Squiggly just wants a hug, and I like his little brain. It's good stuff. We now have Chorale, also from Wargwarble, and it's got a completely different tone for me, right? Ultimately, like, they both fall into the horror category, but this one just contains like a different tone, because yeah, while Squiggly wanted a hug, this guy definitely doesn't want a hug. This guy wants you to rescue him. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to do that. But one of my favourite details here is actually like the sort of bottom right of the coral, where there's that sort of overhang reflection, like sort of in the background there, coming out the other side. Like, I think that's really cool. It's really nice. Great lighting, great textures, great everything, really. So yeah, well done Wargwarble. Really cool stuff. We'll now quickly show off the Orc Outpost from Tooth McGeek, and this features a band who you may have seen earlier. It is the Orchestra. This is mainly a showcase scene, huge open world where you can wander around and explore. These guys are cool, right? I like that little welcome they gave me. I'm just going to quickly run through it here, but as you can see there's plenty to explore. I'm quickly going to the pub because I want to see the orchestra again, show them off, say hello to my favourite band member, that's the one on the left. Let's see them. There we go. There we go. Alright mate, how you doing? This one's my favourite. I quite like the drummer as well, but the thing is occasionally he winks at me. And I find it, yeah, see, find that a little bit off-putting. I don't know you that well mate, alright? I prefer your pal here. But it's cool man, it's such a nice creation. Alright. Aye. We're just gonna have another quick run around. Like this place really, it's just really cool, isn't it? It really comes to life. And of course you can imagine it being the setting for something larger rather than more of an open world showcase thing, but it doesn't stop it being really cool. It is an awesome Orc Outpost. There we go. Alright mate. Aye. It's really cool, right? Really cool. But we are going to have to move on. I'm getting very tired, like I said, yeah. I'm starting to get really tired. It's probably obvious because I'm not even saying interesting things anymore. My brain's just shutting down. So let's jump into Snapshot Explosion Survival. And this is it's an interesting one, right? We're going to dive in here. It's something that seems to be getting continual updates. You've got these different modes here in the community craft room and all sorts, so the community are involved. And the main gameplay is sort of like Little Big Planet Bomb Survival, if anyone's familiar with that. We'll get to it in a moment. But you can see it's got this hub world here, which is pretty cool. You can buy all sorts of skills and perks. Take this little escalator along. Then you'll see here that we've also got like all sorts of stickers and stuff that you can get with the currency you get from the game. There's the update board, collaboration board, this really nice art piece on the wall. I think that's pretty cool. The whole place is cool. It's a really nice hub world, but this is just the hub world. All right, we're about to get into the game. So here we go. I'm aware the music's a bit IP. I'm also aware of all the Fall Guys, but like, guys, I don't care, right? We're just playing this game, and it seems like a nice thing that someone's made. So here we go, right? We're gonna go into this, and this is something else that I find really cool about this game, is that this arena that we're now playing in, the arena that we're now playing in is literally like the centre of the hub area. You know what I mean? And obviously, whatever map you're playing, it's always the centre. We're a little bit trapped here. Oh, there we go. We've just got to stay alive. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. But we do, oh no. It's the ghost bomb, man. See, you can't camp, because if you camp, then a ghost bomb comes after you. Oh. Oh. Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, that is literally the worst run that we've ever done in this game. But I am tired. I am. I wanted to survive it, get a few more mastery points, and then maybe spend them, but look, I've shown it off. I think it's pretty cool. As you can see here, it's got 83 collectibles and 26 different maps. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy, and as they say, it goes through seasons and it gets updates, and the community can get involved as well. So I think that that's pretty cool. And now, after a bit of snapshot, let's go into Gravity Inverter 2 technical demo. It is literally just a little technical demo. That's all it is. It's a demo for this. There are 5 energy tanks for us to collect through the map, but really, this is what it's all about. And I know that it's not the first thing within Dreams to have done that. There are other games that have this gravity mechanic as well, but I just came across this recently and I think it's quite cool. I'd certainly love to see more of it. And it reminded me of that old PC game VVVVVVV, or VV, as I think it might be officially called. And that's basically a 2D Metroidvania thing where, yeah, the main mechanic is doing this and switching between the sort of the, you know, ceiling or the floor. It's very cool. Great job, Martox Core, and yeah, it's genuinely cool. Okay, now just before we dive into the final game of the day, it's time to show off a little bit of Ninja Cat 3 Episode 4, because this is something else that came out in the time while I was away from Dreams. Maybe you've not been following the whole Ninja Cat saga, but it started in Little Big Planet. They're still keeping it going. I do believe this is the last episode of Ninja Cat 3, and I'm not sure if there's going to be any more, but it's very good, right? Here's a little teaser.
Useless mugs! What the heck are you waiting for? Restrain him already!
Scene. And there we go. That's just a little teaser of some of the action you can expect from that. It is good stuff, honestly, and yeah, the whole thing is worth checking out. Okay, and now we're ending things off with the final creation, which is the Sand Gardens from Half Up. You can see here it's an unfinished game, and yeah, we'll see sections that are unfinished, quite clearly unfinished as we play this. But if you're familiar with the work of Half Up, or even if you're not, they're a wonderful creator. They made the Snow Gardens and the Water Gardens, both of which were big hits and really cool within Dreams. This was going to be the end to their trilogy. I don't want to give a percentage of how far they got through the game before they stopped, but they have stopped development, and yeah, it's not ongoing anymore. But there is still enough of a game here for you to play it and enjoy it. Like, it's generally kind of all here. It's just not necessarily as deliberately polished as it otherwise would be. Although this section is. So this is really cool, right? And this is obviously all, yeah, it's deliberate, man. It's not, you know what I mean? I'm not saying unfinished game, look at these things moving. They're supposed to move. So yeah, that's, you know, it's good. Oh, now, yeah, unfortunately we fell in the water instead of the boat there. But it's fine, we've activated this anyway. You see, the last time I played this, when that happened, I get dying and respawning while this cutscene is happening, so it wasn't quite as immersive as it is now. But it's working fine. There we go. So yeah, I mean, these games, they are essentially like little kind of 3D puzzle platformers with these fixed camera angles, and yeah, they're very good. Genuinely, they're worth checking out, even nowadays. If you've not played the Snow Gardens or the Water Gardens, they're worth playing. They're good. And yeah, I mean, we know this game is unfinished, but like, you can still play it, you can still experience it. Experience what's there anyway. There's a really fascinating and interesting thing about playing unfinished games, isn't there? But anyway, look, we've got 1 out of 5 there. Now we're going to move along. Genuinely getting very tired, guys. Yeah, I'm not sure how noticeable it is. Like, we've made a mistake, we should have gone up, see? I've done this before as well. When I played it before, I never came down here. I actually did go the proper way. But now I'm replaying it and I'm tired and I went the wrong way. But I went the wrong way thinking that it would still take me there. So, you know, but it's fine, it's fine. I like how there's a crow, by the way. If you've been hanging out on my channel for the past few months, you'll see I've been doing a bunch of crow stuff from time to time. It's cool. I'm into them, like. Always have been. It's just over the past few months I've made more of a point of visiting my local ones. Now, so yeah, this location's not built yet. And obviously in the full game this would have been like a more elaborate world map. I imagine more like the world maps in the previous games have been. But this is what it is for now, and it still works, look, and it's very cool. Incredible art style, really. But of course, if you have played Snow Garden and Water Gardens, that's no surprise to you. Half Up is also the creator of Pockid, who was always one of my favourites. And on top of that, like, they came up with the concept for like the Dreams mixtapes stuff, which you can find a collection of on my profile if you're interested. It's a bunch of mixtapes where that you can essentially play within create mode while you're making something, just so you can listen to music while you're making stuff, you know. He initially designed it for the stream, but then yeah, it was cool. Now, before I wander off into the abyss, because as far as I'm aware, this is an abyss, I suppose I want to say, look, I'm sorry that I've gotten really tired for this past few videos. I know I've got, yeah, anyway, but if you have made it this far, thanks, cheers for watching. It's been fun doing this. I would like to do more. I'm trying to mix things up, right? I'm happy to do something like this where I play through a collection, improvised, but also I like doing sort of more polished and scripted stuff as well nowadays sometimes, and like, then obviously there's like the 10-second bowls videos that I quite enjoy doing, and sometimes visiting my crows, and I don't know, man, it's just my life, isn't it? It's just a place to share my life, and I want to know about your lives too. So let me know in the comments how you're getting on, or hey, maybe not in the comments, maybe somewhere more private, I don't know. But anyway, that is the Sand Gardens, and it's wonderful, and you should check it out. Obviously it's unfinished, it is what it is. Look, that's life, c'est la vie. We've managed to go through the whole collection. Okay, I believe there is now only one game to play. I actually forgot about it. Look, it's my own, it's rolling through the library. I made it 6 years ago. People might say like, oh, why are you featuring one of your own things in a collection? It's not like I'm trying to promote it or anything. I honestly just thought that maybe for this video it would be fun if I played through one of my own things that I made 6 years ago. It's a little trip down memory lane more than anything else. Yeah, I've not even played this for about 6 years, so it's not going to take long. It's a quick little 2D platformer thing in a 3D world. I did not make a single thing within it. Literally everything is like, you know, taken from the Dreamiverse and stamped in. As is the way with all the stuff I made generally, and also as one of the cool things I like about Dreams. And yeah, I'm quite proud of this little, you know, this little world that I built here. I know it's nothing special. It's obviously, it's like a room with like various library and school stuff. And there's some tearaway characters and some Sackboys, and you know what I mean? The level design's not amazing or anything either, but you know what? we've done it. And there we go. Look at that. And yeah, I made a toolkit available, so even though I didn't make any of these items, I still made a kit with all the things that are in them, you know? Anyway, there we go. What's your favourite classic novel? There we go, answer in the comments. This stream is about 6 years ahead of its time, because it would have never known that someone 6 years from now would be on YouTube asking that question. So yeah, what's your favourite classic novel? Answers in the comments. And I do believe that's us. We've done it, and we've gone through it. I hope you enjoyed it if you stayed. Look, there's really cool music stuff over here. There's also a bunch of game kits and other things here. There's more games and stuff here. I've got loads more things to catch up on in Dreams, literally thousands. I'm going to try and get through them when I can, just bit by bit. I'm going to put out more of these collections, and I'm probably even going to rename this collection in the next 5 minutes just before I release it. And yeah, okay, cool. I don't know what to name it though. What do I brand it? Again, answers in the comments, right? I know that by then it will have been renamed, but there's more coming. What should I actually call this? Because that's not catchy. But then it gets the point across, doesn't it? Anyway, I don't know. Look, cheers. Have a good one.